5 years ago, I was diagnosed with a kidney disease called FSGS. 2 years ago, they came and told me my kidney is failing and I need to be put on a kidney transplant list. They also told me I have a 98% antibodies. What that means is only 2% of people out there that would be a match for me, so the odds of me finding a kidney were almost impossible. At that point, my son Mike, he decided to go get tested. He was not a match for me, but he was a good candidate to donate to somebody else. So we went into a program called the cross match. Cross match means that Mike would give his kidney to somebody else who he was a match for. In trade, they would give me a kidney. Or in our case, there are 3 recipients and 3 donors. So I had Mike as my donor, but he didn't match me. So his kidney was being flown out to UCLA. This was given to a lady in UCLA. There was a person in UCLA whose kidney was flown to Philadelphia. The person in Philadelphia's kidney was flown back to me. So 3 people got a kidney, 3 people gave a kidney. When they first told us about that, I was very hesitant because I hated to have him give his kidney to somebody else that he didn't know, but he didn't hesitate. And he said, "What would you do if it was me?" And I would have gave him mine in a heartbeat.
For my mom, I would do anything for her. So when it came down to being able to put my life on the line to save hers, it was no question.
It was a Friday afternoon when Mike got the call that he was going to be having surgery in 2 weeks. My first thought was, wow, they found a kidney for Karen. What an amazing gift that was, knowing that she had such a small chance of finding a match. And my second thought was, oh my word, Mike's going to be losing his kidney. We both had the same feeling that this absolutely 100% needed to happen. It was going to take place around April, and that's his busiest time of the year. Financially, he is the sole provider in our home. I stay home with our 2 children and I homeschool, and he does landscaping in the spring, summer, and fall. And to be off work for 8 weeks was going to mean a lot for our family. We just knew that God was going to provide in some way for our family. Mike and I have been involved in our church for over 15 years, and we also serve on the worship team. And so when our lead pastor had asked if we would mind coming up the Sunday before the surgery to be prayed over, we absolutely said yes. And I was so thankful for that he, as soon as he knew what was going on, he really wanted to be a part of the process and to really lift us up in prayer. So the Sunday before the surgery, he prayed over Mike and Karen and our family. When he finished praying, he said, "They don't know that I'm about to do this, but I'd like to ask if the congregation would also, be in prayer for us, but explain to them that Mike was going to be off work for 8 weeks, and that he said, we can't take care of everyone, but we can really try to take care of our own," and asked if anyone would feel led to give financially to us to do that, and to do that between the services that Sunday. The funny thing is, that morning I had placed my Bible in a bag. That bag was full of money. When we left that day, people gave so generously to us. I think it blew his family away that morning, who had just recently started coming to church. Hundreds of people just came up and handed him checks and cash. Our pastor called and said, "We really want to make sure that you guys are covered for that 8 weeks. So whatever we need to do, if we need to make another announcement, that you guys haven't been covered yet, we want to do that." We were short, but Mike had said to him, "This is, we're already so blown away by the generosity that we're fine. God's got this. He's got it covered. So you don't need to make another announcement." I grabbed the mail and shoved it into the same bag that I used that Sunday morning, and sat down with Mike. He was in his bed at the hospital, and said, "I have some letters here in the mail." And so I started opening up the cards, and each card had a check in it. At the end of me opening all the mail, Mike said, "You know how much that is?" And he said, "It's to the dollar what we were short." Another amazing thing that happened was Mike worked sometimes full-time in the wintertime at a company, and they called him and said, "Do you have an Aflac account?" And he said no. And they said, "We didn't think so. We've been taking $10 out of your pay over the winter for 2 years. And so we're going to cut you a check for the amount that we have taken from you." And so that was an unexpected large check that we were just amazed. God was saying to us, even the needs that you don't know you even have yet, through this, that I will provide for you through those things. Even the things you don't know yet, I've got your back. And that was huge for us, and just a huge, huge blessing. In addition to God meeting our financial needs through this time, God also answered a huge prayer for us. Mike and I had been praying for a long time for his family who does not know the Lord. And a few years ago, his grandparents had started coming to our church, and then his mom, Karen, had also started coming to our church. And so Mike used an opportunity to talk to her the week before the surgery.
I just asked her if she's ever accepted the Lord, and she didn't say much. And then I said, my son, Mikey, he had asked me before, am I going to see Nanny in heaven? So I explained to her that, my kids are even wondering about their nanny. So she hesitated, and then she said, I think that's something that needs to happen.
Later that week, I had talked to my parents who had been attending the church for some time, and talked to them and said, I had talked to Mikey and I'm going to accept Christ in my life this Sunday. My mother said, I've been wanting to do that too, but I didn't want to stand up by myself. I said, let's do it together this week. And I had left her know that Mike and Rachel also would like my dad to do that too. And she said, well, don't hold your breath there. And I said, well, let's me and you do it. So Sunday did come, and me, my mother, and my dad all accepted Christ into our lives. Through all this amazing thing that has happened, Mike didn't only save my life, he also saved a lady in UCLA's life. And just this week he received a thank you letter from a 63-year-old lady's daughter and children thanking him for saving their mother.
This whole experience has been absolutely amazing for our family to see how God provided for us. And not only in one area, he provided in all areas of our lives. Our emotional needs were met, our physical needs were met, our spiritual needs were met, and our financial needs were met. And that blew us away. We are standing here 3 weeks from the surgery. After the surgery, Mike is healing really well. Karen, it could not have gone any better. All expectations were met and just beyond. And we really see the hand of God working in their lives, even through the healing process.
I can't even say enough to thank my son of what he has sacrificed for me. It makes me realize what a son would do for a mother.
We would just like to say thank you to everyone who gave so generously to our family, and how you were used by God in our lives.